Hello again, Coffee Chat friends. Today I wanted to talk about something called virtue. We've all heard a lot about virtue, I'm sure. At least we've heard it in terms of a canned form, if you will, like the certain number of virtues of a certain religion, or this person or that guy is virtuous. Well, let's have a little deeper look at it maybe, at the word, because I think it's a really important word. Now, from a purely definition standpoint, I just looked it up, and the top definition was along the lines of behavior showing high moral standards. To get a little clarity on that, I then looked up the word moral, and it said concerned with principles of right and wrong. Pretty straightforward, right? Now, in the etymology of this word, virtue, it was quite interesting because it was related to words such as valor, merit, moral perfection. Now that's pretty straightforward once again. But here's the interesting one. It's related to the word man. The root word, vir, if you go back far enough, it actually means man. Also, I suspect that it is related to the Latin root word for truth, which is sort of like ver, like verdad in Spanish. I suspect, because virtue, we think of that in relation to truthfulness in a way, right? Now, it was interesting because after a call that I got this morning from somebody who was accusing me of being something that he had no idea that I was, I guess. It was interesting. I had a good chat with my son about how really there are two types of people. There are those who produce and there are those who prey on those who produce. That's the extremes in a way. And my son made the point that so the difference of the two people is very extreme. It's almost like two different forms of human being. And one is more human, if you will, more man. And the other one is more a fabrication, construct. So in other words, to be more human, to be more man, is to be more virtuous, is to be man. Maybe that's the root of that, I don't know, but it was an interesting thing to talk about. Because after all, to be more truthful to what we are, is to have valor, morality, and to be more correct about what we are, which is man and woman, for example. The actual heart-beating, sentient creature we call man and woman. That's what we more truthfully are. All the other things that we say we are fabrications, they're more distant. They are, shall we say, hiding behind some sort of trickery in a way, or some sort of presentation that we're not. So to be more truthful is to be ourselves, to have more virtue is to be more of ourselves, I think. And I think the result is that we can have more empathy. Because and even in so-called legal systems, they never touch man. They never talk about man. They're always talking about the constructs. The less real, the more fake is what the whole world is talking about, it seems like. But true empathy can come from virtue, comes from man, comes from the virtue of what we are, the truth of what we are, the rightness, the moral rectitude. Because when we are truly ourselves, that means we're connected with ourselves. We can feel our emotions, we can have our thoughts, and we can then understand people better. Both intellectually and also on an emotional level, we can feel it. We can have more empathy. And with more empathy, the more truthful we get, we realize that there's no such thing as Japs anymore, or Canadians, or Americans, or Muslims, or Christians. That's all constructs. That's all labels that we put on people. What we are is man. And with this, I remember the approximate words of the very famous Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who once said, "There is no Hindu, there is no Muslim, there is man." And I would say then, that is the value of virtue. If we go to the origin of the word, we find what we really are, which is man. And from there, we can live a better life, I would say. And a better life means a more quality, enjoyed life. Hope this makes sense. A few comments on the word virtue. I know it's a little deep perhaps, though I think it's sometimes important to dig a little bit deep into what we are. Nice talking to you for now. I'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.